I guess if you want, we go back a little bit then. So
you've been here for 3 years.
I've been here for 3 years. I didn't research Cambodia. I don't research anything where I'm going. I'm not a touristy person. For me, if I go somewhere, same as any post you see on my Facebook, will be a post with intention to do something. I'm never going to post something just because it's a trending support for whatever is happening. And it was the same for Cambodia. So let's go back a bit. I've studied many things that are around people. So my first ever study was childcare for 3 years, working with children in the UK, then child autism, adult autism, when they had to be institutionalized due to violent tendencies, then behavioral management. Then I became homeless for 6 months for a very fun story reason. And after that period of time, I come from an amazing...
I was going to say, we probably have a whole episode on that. Not necessarily on you being homeless, but like the mental health crisis and your experiences with all that. So I know that's big in like the US and becoming big in Western Europe and stuff like that. It doesn't seem to be a problem in some places like this. And so I'd like to have that conversation, but I don't want to derail where we're going right now. So I'll put a pin in that. We'll come back to that conversation for another time.
Yeah, that's a good idea. So after a lot of self-hate and guilt, there was a key moment, a turning point, a pivotal moment for me to go into recovery. I then wanted to focus more on a darker mentality. So working in hostels that were, during COVID, it was illegal to be on the streets, even homeless. So working on turning the hotels into homeless hostels, in which the UK government, depending on different areas, was about 40k a month for paying these hotels to give us them during that time. And again, the amount of stories that you pick up working with vulnerable people, even in the adult autism, I've got a scar from a level of violence due to a trigger of an autistic adult. I've got scars from doing home checks for people who felt suicidal or on drugs. But absolutely, no matter what was happening, or verbal or physical violence, loved it because it had a sense of meaning. It was something real that you're doing. A pivotal a highlight of this few years in that job was a woman who was street homeless and however we call it, a worker on these streets, middle-aged woman who absolutely hated herself, felt that it was okay for things to happen to her because she had no self-love and respect. And a couple of times after our meetings and giving her methadone that's prescribed to stop the opioids having a strong effect, stayed on the streets with her. When she was like, I need to sleep on the streets, but I don't want someone to come and pay me to do whatever. So I'd go sleep on the streets, and it happened quite a few times. Again, that breaking red tape, so I don't recommend it, and you're putting yourself in a vulnerable place. But I believe in capability and stuff like that. But before I left, and she went off for detox, rehab, and relocation, she wrote me an amazing 2 pages, a letter saying thank you, until the beginning of the second page. So the first page was beautiful, sincere, very touching. The second page started with, Mr. Andy, you make me so randy. Then it went on to, maybe after recovery we can have a relationship.
I just want to clarify, so your nickname is Ginge, but your Andy's your formal name. Okay.
Yeah.
So Andy, you make me randy?
Yeah. And then it became a very emotional, maybe a relationship after recovery letter. So I messaged her saying, I appreciate it and do well, you'll find a man, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, anything like that. And I've been very lucky, even that people that come here who've worked in mental health, the mental health group I did here for a couple of years. I heavily respect those who have put themselves in a position that's emotionally, mentally, physically tiring, trying to help others. And there are in Siem Reap, some of the best people I know are not the people who are these popular faces that you see everywhere. They're anti-social, but when there is someone in need, they are going and doing it. Yeah, this I respect. Yeah.
So was coming to Siem Reap your big move abroad, or did you live in some other countries before coming out here?
This was my biggest move. This was a commitment. This was the only thing I needed to know was what form of development they needed, where it is in the way of poverty. I never came to Asia before here. I know I'm very adaptable. It wouldn't really matter where. Before I was on the Poland-Ukraine border as that war started. And again, getting the refugees coming out, and it was great. And luckily, I knew some people who were there, and even those storytellings. And again, creating this lifestyle of I'm not chasing a bigger apartment, a nicer thing. I've never cared. In fact, Siem Reap has been such a blessing that, like this event, if I need a camera, if I need a drone, I've done house builds and I've asked, can I borrow someone's drone? And it works. It's a real sense of community. But with this idea of simplistic happiness, you do things with meaning. One of my suicide prevention clients, who was a Polish gentleman in Oxford, I did a house check on him and he had hung himself. And I stayed with him for a few hours until paramedic and police got here and took him away. And I kept his coin purse that was shaped like a dog. I've got footage of this coin purse. Because when I was in Poland, they have an amazing Day of the Dead. So I remember taking it, made some Polish friends, they did whatever prayer, and leaving a coin purse on one of their dad's tombstones. And again, just having this conscious mindset that most people suffer in life at some point. It's something you can do to become better, and I believe in getting involved. I don't like to sit back when things happening. So yeah, came to Cambodia. It's been amazing since. Yeah.
Yeah, I think everybody appreciates all the work that you do.
Oh, yeah. It's been interesting. Yeah.
I met you when I first arrived. I was only here for a week or two, and I met you at the gym, and then I met you a second time in a social group that we go to together.
Very good, yeah.
Turns out just a lot of people know you, so you have a good reputation in the community here.
Good.
What keeps you busy when you're not working on all your different side projects, aside from the gym and everything else?
The side
what do you do for
project
fun? What do you do to relax when you have time to relax? And lately you haven't.
Like I work where I've got a couple of mental health clients here in Siem Reap. One thing that keeps me self-sustaining is, without going into detail, but I was asked to get involved in a very dramatic moment for a young tourist in Thailand. And jobs like this, number one, they trust me to, it was more or less a kidnapping to get the guy out of the situation, then deal with the whole family situation, then a plan for him to move forward and recover from some crazy stuff. But stuff like that, again, keeping a conscious lifestyle and mentality that everything can be meaningful. It can be a rewarding lifestyle instead of, and it's great if people want to do it, but office work, I would hate it. I'd absolutely, even sitting trying to organize stuff, I hate doing. So with jobs like this, with mental health clients that know me well enough that my money doesn't go to pointless things, I think. So in my free time, I've been lucky now with this new apartment. I did it in the last place. I've been trying to create something new for Siem Reap in Cambodia, and this is interactive art and projects. So I'm making a giant Hanuman and mermaid spin the wheel. I've got 32 businesses here offering monthly prizes. I want to make a monkey costume, so when you come on holiday to Siem Reap, there'll be a couple of banana chairs and there'll be a slapstick comical interview process.
I know, I could just imagine this conversation maybe holding a little bit less weight if you're dressed in a monkey suit.
Yeah, I won't say what makes you depressed on the card, but like, I mean, I wanted to tie into the mental health. So what is the simplest form of happiness? Some questions about Cambodia, a bit more social question, and also bigger thinking, as well as like a little tarot reading that's a bit of a joke, some food tasting, Khmer food tasting, and it's something I believe will help here, maybe not in a major way, but something that is, number one, entertaining. It's new, it's a different concept here, yeah. So that's what I've been doing in free time, as well as fitness.
But that all sounds like work.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not
But
really
it's artistic
relaxing.
work. Yeah, yeah.
I just think you just go nonstop all the
Yeah.
time.
But the Friday group that we attend is I might be there an hour, maybe 2 hours if I'm got enough energy. But like something like that, where it's people that you know have good, normal, average people that don't lean too far into a box.
We
Yeah,
certainly get some of those types showing up though.
yeah, that's fair. Yeah,
No, I'm
when the rave
half
music
joking.
comes on before I'm drunk, it's not that good.
So it has to be timed right.
Yeah. So yeah, stuff like that. And I do have amazing friends. Most of them like to be one-to-one coffee meets.
There's a lot of good people here in this city.
There are, yeah.
I think there's something special about this city that attracts people with a certain mentality.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to define, but like when I arrived here, it's a small city, but it has a lot of variety,
Yeah.
and it calls to a certain type of person, I think.
Yeah. No, it is. It's been an amazing home for 3 years because there's so much you can add or get involved in. There's the temples alone. Once you have your ankle pass after 2 years of living here,
Yeah,
it's a blessing.
I need that.
Yeah. Even this alone can just fill your time. Once you're not working, it's such an amazing privilege to have being here after 2 years. Yeah, no, it is good. But I also think people should be very conscious. I'll give you a real story that happened before I went to Thailand a couple of months ago. Is I needed to get my hair cut because I could happily look like a homeless person and not care. So before a meeting that was quite important, I thought I better shape up. So I went to the barber's and there's a British man next to me who's just come to Siem Reap. Don't know if he's still here, doesn't matter. But he was a doctor in the NHS. So amazing, you got great skills, qualifications. You come to a developing country where there's such a need for medical aid. Even HIV testing needs to be pushed in the province. And I asked him, cool, what are you doing here? NGO, great. And again, I say this without any shame, and it might sound judgmental, but he opened I don't know what we call it in most countries, a girly bar. A bar that you open in a crappy area and you hire young girls who are so desperate for money, whether it's to support sick parents. They might have taken a loan out for a house and they really need to pay that off because you can get screwed. So hiring these girls. Now, my biggest mentality in life is just because something normal doesn't mean it's right. And when he told me this, I kind of said, well, why? Do anything else, open a clinic, whatever. And he said he was just so fed up with the medical industry, and that's fair. Leave the job, sure, but again, I want to push back on what is normal here, because you can come and you can do little changes that I hope does develop a country, and somewhere like Cambodia that is.
And it's not like there's a big demand for more girly bars here.
God, no.
There's
no.
already a fair amount. For the size of the city, being as small as it is, there's enough of that.
Yeah, there's one whole strip.
But for people that don't know, it's a very Southeast Asian thing to
It
do,
is,
I guess.
yeah. And it
So
is
it's not just
normalised.
Cambodia, it's
Yeah.
Thailand and other
Yeah.
places.
And again, I don't know enough. So let's say there are these girly bars, and actually they are done in a point where they're just a way of attracting customers, but that's it, then okay. After working in mental health around Siem Reap and getting stories of business owners who are doing very wrong things, I kind of just give my judgment and that's it. So I don't want to look into it anymore, otherwise you end up in another situation. Yeah. As a whole, so if we were ending on the conflict and what is happening here, I think it's probably best to say that as of right now, Siem Reap, Phnom Penh, inland, is incredibly, it's safe. Siem Reap is such a safe place that when I was doing the mural painting, cameras, Insta360s, GoPros, my bag, I was leaving them in a street. I was driving away to go and get more paint, come back and it's not touched. And I've tested this a few times, and Siem Reap is such a safe place. Women walking alone, I've got friends who Now, you will have drunk people everywhere. Be conscious. I'm not saying nothing can ever happen. But as a whole, Siem Reap is probably the safest place I've ever been to. Even with the current conflict, if you look across media across the world, it's mostly from Thailand. It does look bad. The news that is given is very anti-Cambodia. And again, flights, airports are here, tourists, we're still seeing them around town.
Life here is mostly normal.
You
don't really notice anything out of the ordinary.
Yeah. And if anything, once you ask a couple of questions, even Khmer people, you happily go up and talk to them. They will respond very positively.
Yeah.
And you will see a level of community again that I believe we're losing in the West. So yeah, I don't ever want to scare people off by saying what is happening here, because there are amazing people. Whether you're into the spiritual scene, whether you're into motorbiking and adventure, you want to do something artistic, there's everything you need to do here.
Yeah, I wish I could adapt to the climate better so I could get out and enjoy things more.
Yeah.
But it'll come in time.
Yeah.
Especially after I get a motorbike, there's so many things to see outside of the city.
Yeah.
But even then, I've been here for 7 months,
Uh-huh.
8 months, and I haven't really got tired of the city itself yet.
No. I haven't
Just
explored
taking it
Cambodia
slow.
because it is
A lot of variety of restaurants and cafes
Yeah.
and people to meet.
Yeah.
That's why I want to start this new project where I sit down with people like you that just have interesting stories to tell.
Yeah, no,
Not
sure.
necessarily about the conflict or not,
Yeah.
but just, and locals also, not
no,
just
sure.
foreigners.
Yeah. And I'll probably end this on just a very quick brief on what I want to do here. So I've called it Smiling Creative Siem Reap. And the idea, and you'll see it when you come here, so I'll give an example of something I've just done, is when you come, tuk-tuk drivers, if you're not using Pass App or Grab, which has actually really lowered their wages, what they will tend to do, probably across Southeast Asia, is simply sit in the tuk-tuk and shout, hey, excuse me, tuk-tuk, and it's not appealing. If you've heard it so much and you're so used to saying, no, no.
That's why in the markets they sell a shirt that says, I do not need a tuk-tuk.
Yeah. So instead, only in a couple of hours, thinking of a way that's going to help them get customers. So I made a double-sided A2 sheet. One side is just a nice visual of Angkor Temple tours, small route, large route, and then it'll be a set price. The other side, because here in Siem Reap it's very poor advertising. Many people don't know what's actually here when you come. So even a list of different things you can see. And if you want your tuk-tuk driver over 2 days to show you around, a good, fair price that also benefits them. So they don't have to sit in a tuk-tuk for 12 hours a day and ask them their stories about their home life, because some of them, when they do make money, will spread that money around their village community. So it's not like there is a drinking culture here and they do it, but it's not like that's all it is. So there is a deeper reason to give a bit more if you can, especially coming from UK. $1 here is easily a couple of meals for a Khmer driver. So if you guys do see on the Facebook anything like that, I hope to build over time before I leave.
Yeah. So it'll be cool to sit down with you again to not only talk about some other things that are not necessarily focused on Cambodia, but also to follow along with the different projects you're working on. So
I'll bring them.
We'll talk more about like
us.
mental health awareness.
Yeah, definitely.
And then do some updates on your projects, and then
cool.
see what happens. So we'll wrap up this conversation. I think it's been awesome. I hope I don't have any technical issues, so we can actually post this online.
We'll see.
Watch, I'm going to go over there and find out the camera wasn't recording or something. So, okay, we'll wrap it up.
Yeah, cool.
All right.
Cheers, man. Cheers. Good.
See ya.
Nice.